Well, it's about that time, folks. The 2022 NASCAR Mock Series car set for the FCRD Next Gen mod is finally complete, only 7 months late, and ready to satisfy your need for gaming pleasure. In all seriousness, though, this was an extremely fun car set to make. I started posting these paint schemes on Twitter while I was making them, and let's just say it was quite interesting to get likes from and responses from people like Josh Berry, Jordan Anderson, Brennan Poole was one of them as well, Hellman's Corporate, and the funniest of them all, G2G Racing. By the way, it's hard to believe that those in the racing industry by proxy know that the Mock Series even exists. I understand that it's nothing but a fly on the wall to them, but it's kind of fun to think about the scope that this series has covered over the last 3+ years of work. I think you can also tell that the theme of this car set is Truck/Xfinity Series teams trying their hand at Cup starts, plus a lot of field fillers, since the whole concept of this was to have a proper NASCAR, aka one without pay-to-win mechanics. To quote DW, the fastest 43 cars should start the race, and the plan was to adhere to that logic. There's obviously a lot of people to thank for the resources that went into this car set, and it would be a little bit long to read them all out right here. So you can find all the credits to the car set on the release page on my website. So head on down to speedstation.weebly.com for the download link to this car set, and while you're there, check out all the other stuff that's there, like the link to the Patreon that never gets used. And hey, if you donate, I might just finally buy out the rights to take Weebly out of the website name. Oh, and by the way, as I'm writing this script, I realize that the website might need a little bit of a facelift sometime soon to be a little bit more accurate to the present. But anyways, I'm hoping you all enjoy this car set, and there's likely a lot more where that came from. And just like my description says, I would want to thank all the wonderful and devoted people creating these tracks, paint schemes, and all other sorts of edits for this game. Without you folks, this show would not be possible. And a huge thanks to those who have helped me come up with ideas for this show over the years, especially Trent. Like, seriously, you covered for at least a year's worth of brain fade for me, and I really appreciate it. And now on to a bit of an announcement. Now, I might have accidentally led people astray by this, but I do have to announce that the Mock Series, as it was, is over. I wanted to make this announcement once I got the car set done so I could get that set obviously released, but I didn't think it would take me until the end of July to get it done, but you know how it is. Now let me elaborate on the reasoning for this. Doing this Mock Series was a tremendous amount of fun over its 3-year run. However, not only is it late July, currently the 23rd, as I'm recording my lines here, and it doesn't make any sense at all to start the full season right now, but also the Next Gen mod crashes like every 10 to 20 minutes. That's nothing against FCRD at all. Those people are great. In fact, that mod is probably the best mod ever made for the game. But some people, myself included, have serious trouble keeping the mod actually running. And I mean, I even had it crash once in Opponent Manager trying to assemble the car set that I'm releasing in this video. But before you even ask, yes, I've got the 4GB patch. I've configured the NVIDIA card settings, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prevents pretty much constant game crashes. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is the fact that I've been doing this pretty much non-stop for 3 years, and I think it'll benefit everyone if I start to do more unique and actually engaging content. Did you notice that at the end of Season 3 everything got kind of really long and boring? Well, that's because I followed all of my scripts that I wrote absolutely word for word, and that was so I could just get the season done faster, because it took me, well, 16 months to do 1 year, which obviously that math doesn't work out. That's not a very good division problem. And now problem number 3. The Mock Series, by accident, pretty much became an owner's playthrough. I mean, Suarez won the championship to close Season 3, which I should mention happened naturally, by the way. To elaborate on the whole ratings thing, through Seasons 1 through 2, his rating was equal to Daniel Suarez's actual performance through 2019 and 2020. But because the way I rate things, I rate drivers based off of other drivers' performance, if I have to say up them, and that's just because it's easier than me doing all my own ratings through N ratings. So I actually upped Daniel Suarez's rating to be equal to Kevin Harvick's. So that means for Season 3, Kevin Harvick's 2021 season stats was the ratings that Suarez had, which really shouldn't have been a championship season because Harvick, kind of sucked last year, but you know what? Miracles happen. The whole concept for the Starcom Speed Station team was to hire drivers that I personally thought weren't going to get a fair chance at Cup. Well, let's just say that at this point, Suarez, Chastain, and Briscoe are all Cup Series winners. The only one who isn't is Jan Magnussen, that's for obvious reasons, so that argument doesn't even make sense now. But think about the positions those 3 drivers that I mentioned, what they were in late 2019 when I actually had the idea to come up with this whole race team. Daniel Suarez, his whole career looked to be over as he was going to gaunt of all race teams, and in early 2020 I looked like I was right when, he missed the 500. Ross Chastain was going to Kaulig after the whole DC Solar debacle and his pretty good run at Nice Motorsports in the Truck Series, but back then Kaulig didn't have a Cup program and really wasn't as astonishing of a race team as they became in the last 3 years. And Chase Briscoe was literally in the shadow of Cole Custer in the Xfinity Series, and SHR's Cup program was really developed. So at best, it looked like Briscoe was destined to drive for Go Fast in the 32 car and Cup. But time made all of that stuff irrelevant, and all 3 of those drivers ended up with competitive Cup programs and able to win races, even though Chastain is still screwing with everybody. You know what? It's kind of funny when you think about at Starcom Speed Station, I don't recall Chastain getting into too many squabbles. I guess I had enough sit-down conversations with him to snap him out of it. There are probably more issues with the Mach Series that I could list and talk about, but the only additional ones I'm going to talk about are outside of canon. It's obviously time and satisfaction for me personally. The time aspect is just how long it took me to produce these videos, and that's because I had to paint all the cars, well, not all of the cars, but all the trucks I painted. And I'd say a good 50% of the cars by the end of Season 3 were ones that I did. I had to do a lot of sandbox work, a lot of track I&I edits just to make everything kind of, more of a spectacle than everything vanilla could have produced. Filming the races live, obviously, was kind of a production, because the commentary wasn't done later. It was done literally at the same time as the races were filmed, except for a couple videos I did where I'd record the race and then the audio later, like Dover in Season 3 I did that way, a couple races late in the season, but the majority of the races I did live commentary of. And obviously post-production takes a while. It takes like, half a day post-production wise because of how long the videos were. I mean, they were like 2 hours a piece. I made like, in the last 16 months, 85 feature-length films? So there was a lot of time taken up by that whole series. I could go on with that, but still, I think you get the gist. It was a lot of things, and for how many videos you have to get out in a 1-year period to keep up with a racing season, I'd actually given myself more work than was even practical. So, every video was pretty much a feature-length production, especially once we got out of the first half of Season 3. The whole latter half was almost all feature-length productions, and everything had to be completely edited. This kind of make the timing of the words seem more logical and make everything as compact as I could, so everything actually took editing. There was hardly anything that I didn't touch, and you could tell by the beginning of Season 3 that I was already kind of getting exhausted of it, especially those, 1 minute or so of Auto Club that was just blank screen. That was a sheer editing mistake on my part. It's just trying to rush the production so fast that you literally miss obvious things if you would have been paying attention, but when you're rushing, it's kind of hard to do that. And somehow at the beginning of the season, I was getting out like 1 or 2 videos a week. Really, I don't even know how I was doing, because by the end of the season, it took me like 3 weeks to get one of the races out. Now onto the satisfaction aspect of it. I feel like in regards to the original Mach series, it has fulfilled its purpose, and there's quite honestly nothing else to do with it that would add to the effect of what the series was. It started actually because I wanted to run the 2019 season with the proposed 2020 schedule. Which, by the way, because of COVID, never actually happened. So technically, Season 1 is the only example of what that schedule would have delivered. I guess it would have given you Clint Bowyer's just hilarious championship run. And also, Season 2 wasn't even supposed to happen. I was going to end it with Season 1 because the whole series fulfilled its purpose. But then I thought it was kind of cool to see what the butterfly effects of Season 1 would lead to. So, Season 2 wasn't supposed to happen, let alone Season 3. So I accomplished way more with this than I ever thought I would. But I feel like I've done everything I wanted to do with the series, and it's a bit of a storybook conclusion anyway with the whole Suarez championship. So I'd say it has a fitting conclusion. And in the Truck Series realm, because that was actually the last Mach Series race, was the Truck Series All-Star thing at Vegas. Very fitting, too, for Kyle Busch to win that, winning as Truck Series driver in series history. So I think a lot of the conclusions made sense. We finally got Landon Cassill a win, even though it was a Texas World in the post-season race. I still think that it was kind of amazing to see him finally win a Cup race because of, he was the first of the 2 drivers that were at Starcom Speed Station, obviously, when we, in canon bought into the race team. We had Derek Cope and Landon Cassill, so I just thought it was fitting that the last Cup broadcast we did Landon Castle finally got that victory that I was hoping for in 2019. I do want to say, though, this is a bit of a resolution. I am not done at all with NR2003. I've got a lot of unfinished business in that game. For example, I'll actually be releasing tracks this year, which people have been requesting for me non-stop in almost every single video for at least the last 2 years of the MOC series. Gateway, Daytona Beach, and maybe some others are on the list, kind of penned in, well, penciled in, honestly, right now, on my list to get released this year. I do want to have some like holiday releases late in the year of at least Gateway and Daytona Beach. Those are the ones I definitely want to release this year. And also, I'm not going to, never say never on maybe doing another NR season of some sort down the road. I've got nothing planned right now, but I'm going to leave the door open to it just because I don't want to look stupid if I actually end up doing it again. Essentially, what I want to do with this whole channel is just enjoy the process a lot more, aka I don't want to have that feeling of commitment that comes from spending a whole year of my life in productions on just one season of one show. In short, I'll be doing a whole lot more of whatever I want on this channel. I think the NASCAR The Game season kind of proves some of that. What that exactly entails, I'm not totally sure yet, but typically when a creator enjoys doing something more, the viewer enjoys it a whole lot more. But anyways, a lot of content's coming soon that I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy. I know I'll be enjoying making it a whole lot more than I was at the end of Season 3. The NASCAR The Game Robbie Gordon season is obviously going to continue as normal, because it's really one of the funniest things I think I've ever done. I still got to figure out that whole scheduling and timing video releases thing. That's been one of my Achilles' heels. I've obviously got more than one. But I do hope everybody enjoyed the MOC series in its run, 3 years. It was quite a bit of videos, but it was a lot of fun to make, and it taught me quite a bit, not only just about the video making process, but honestly quite a bit about life too. Some of my favorite moments of the show included Quinn Houff's legendary Kansas win, Jan Magnussen's breakthrough win at the Roval over 7-time Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer's alcohol-infused championship, Myatt Snyder's Southern 500, the Busch brother battle for the 2020 title at Atlanta, Josh Bilicki's Daytona 500 was just fantastic. And then Starcom Speed Station's Daniel Suarez winning at Mansfield later the championship. Oh, and I can't forget about Chase Bristol, winning the Bristol dirt race. I thought that was awesome because, it was our team and it was the first dirt race I've ever done. I love dirt racing, by the way, especially in this game because you can really configure it and have a lot of fun with. As odd as that might sound because it's just an asphalt racing game from 2003, there's some awesome dirt racing in this if you work at it. So it was pretty cool to see our car get the victory in the first ever dirt race I covered on this channel. And that's obviously just to name a few of my favorite events. Even though it wasn't really a happy moment, I guess you could say, it was kind of funny, thinking about it from an unrealistic perspective, outside of canon. But Matt Kenseth's whole career-ending saga at Pocono leading to his return at Road America, that was another big story that was really quite unique. But it was an awesome series, and I hope that it did something for the community, at least inspired some people at the very least. It was a lot of fun, and quite a bit of different and hopefully even funner content is going to be coming up soon as well. Like I said earlier, I'm not done with NR at all. In my opinion, I never really had an amazing all-star race in the MOC series, so that's something I'd love to tackle in maybe just an individual video. But yes, when it comes to this game, Carset and track releases will be most of my work. I'm never going to rule out another season of something, but right now it's just not on my radar. And since I'm not doing the MOC series though, you should go and have yourself some fun with the schemes I'm releasing anyways. They're essentially all the schemes that I was going to do and put into a reset of sorts for the MOC series, so it can easily spice up any MOC series of your own. I put quite a bit of work into this car set, and there was really no reason for me not to release it, especially with how much fun I had making it, the interaction with folks on Twitter, and really just quite a bit of enjoyment went into it, and a lot of work as well. I think the product's pretty cool. Some of my best paint schemes, quite honestly. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've got a Patreon set up as well, and I'll be seeing you next time.